I'm not a horror movies type of person. I mean, yeah, I watched it when I was a kid in the early 80s and then all the way up to the early 90s when I was a teenager and into the early 2000s in my younger 20s. But that was it. When I watch these movies, it just takes me to an alternative reality where the human race is a bunch of gullible idiots that can easily get killed. I remember one time I was sleeping over at my friend's house and they just happened to be watching this horror movie. I forget what it was. But I just happened to walk right into a scene where there was this decapitated head in a toilet. And this guy was going to stick around and wait until his friends or crew members came by so he could tell him that, hey, there's a head in the toilet. And I'm thinking to myself, if only I could just go into this alternative reality and just tell this genius, like, hey, leave a note. Head in toilet. Make it short and sweet. Stick it on the door frame. And hopefully by the time your friends come and see it, your goofy ass is long gone. And I don't mean by Mr. Pizza Face. I mean by on your 2 feet. Or like the movie Jaws, where they know that there's a killer shark in the ocean, but all of a sudden everyone's addicted to going to the beach and has to get into the water. Then there was this one sleepover, it just so happens that my friend was watching another horror movie. And this girl was just right up against the wall, panting, going, I'm going to die. Am I going to die? Am I going to die? Am I going to die? And I'm like, oh yeah, you are going to die. Because you're going to stand there and let somebody with a hockey mask that can't play hockey worth a fuck, but he's going to use your head as an alternative. Right next to you is a door. Open it. Or when they're trying to make their getaway, when they're going into their car, they've been in their car probably hundreds of times before this incident happened, you would think. All of a sudden, this guy can't stick a key in the door anymore. He's missing the keyhole. I'm like, dude, look where you're pointing the key, stick it in a hole, and turn. Door will open when you pull handle after you squeeze the little button. And when this putz gets into the driver's seat, again, he's trying to put the key into the ignition. He's going... I'm like, dude, take a moment, look at key. You know the one that's the ignition. Choose it, stick it in, boom, boom, done. Now when you see scenes where there's blood all over the place, I mean, they didn't even make the blood look realistic. I went through, I had to go on dialysis for 8 months before I went through a kidney transplant. They had to transfer blood through a tube out of me from a main artery, filter it, and have it put back in. Blood is dark red. It is not light pink, and it is not bright red. When you see these scenes, it does not look like blood at all. It looks like the Kool-Aid Man made a brief visit, looked around and went, oh yeah, and started twerking, and he slipped and he cracked his ass open. Completely unrealistic. So it's not the horror movies themselves that gets me. It's the fact is that they put me into this alternative reality where I'm thinking to myself, how did these people make it past age 5? Yeah, I get it. I know it's a movie. But as fast as these people get killed, it makes you wonder how they managed to make it to adulthood.